In the early 90s, one vehicle exploded in popularity like no other. Not because it was fast or luxurious, but because it completely rewrote the American dream. That car was the legendary Ford Explorer, a vehicle that didn't just sell millions, but transformed what families aspired to drive. So how did a generic box on wheels become the most influential vehicle of its era? In this video, we're going to uncover the risky decisions made by Ford. It all starts in 1989, a time when the average American driveway resembled a retirement home for boxy sedans and uninspiring station wagons. Sedans offered nothing but decent mileage and back pain. Station wagons? They were the dad sneakers of the road. Practical, but absolutely tragic. American families were trapped in a dilemma, either comfort or capability, but never both. However, that was about to change with a bold gamble from Ford that no one saw coming. While rivals obsessed over making slightly better trucks, one man saw what no one else did. Ford's head of marketing, Leo Shedden, knew that families didn't want better, they wanted different. Something that looked like it could climb Everest, but felt like a living room inside. Ford's own Bronco 2 simply couldn't fit the mold. This SUV wasn't just outdated, it was dangerous. Rollover crashes and a Consumer Reports warning turned it from Ford's hope into a lawsuit magnet. Fixing it wasn't enough. They had to erase it from memory and start completely fresh. Panic began to set in at Ford, but when one man entered the fray, things started to change a little. The legendary Bob Lutz, who was part of Ford's truck division at the time, was the kind of executive who didn't do baby steps. His first move? Scrap the Bronco and build from scratch. But it wasn't going to be cheap. Lutz convinced Ford to bet a staggering $400 million on it. Either this worked, or heads were rolling. Luckily, Ford's market research painted a clear picture of what families actually wanted. They found parents sick of climbing into pickups like mountain goats, sick of cramming kids into sedans with no room for a soccer ball. They wanted to tow a boat on Saturday and glide through traffic on Monday. It turned out Ford's ideal buyer wasn't some niche market. It was everyone. Millions of families wanted the same thing: space without the bulk, and utility without the misery. Ford had previously been selling to gearheads and truck guys, but this time it was different. If they nailed the formula, they weren't just building a new SUV. They were about to tap into the largest vehicle segment America didn't know existed. But there was just one problem. That so-called untapped market? Jeep and Chevy were already raking in SUV cash for years. The Cherokee had made Jeep mainstream. The Blazer had the biggest distribution network in the game. But Ford didn't want a slice. They wanted the whole damn pie. Ford's team broke down the competition like a crime scene. The Cherokee? Too narrow and terrible for families. The Blazer? Still a two-door and awful for loading kids. Ford didn't just spot the flaws. They built the Explorer to exploit them. Led by designer Dick Nesbitt, Ford made a bold decision: build big. The Explorer wasn't just a little roomier, it dwarfed its rivals inside and out. It was longer, wider, and crucially, more stable. A direct strike at the rollover fears still haunting Ford's last SUV attempt. Some of the Explorer's best features were just smart instead of flashy. Take the rear doors, for example. Engineers called them limousine doors because of how wide they opened. Compared to the Cherokee's awkward squeeze, loading kids or groceries into an Explorer felt effortless. It's the kind of small win that made a big difference every single day. When you stepped inside the Explorer, it didn't feel like a truck at all. You saw leather seats and a CD player. Ford wasn't just copying the competition. They were reimagining what an SUV could be. This was the vehicle that everyone had been waiting for. one that didn't compromise between comfort and capability. But the Explorer's biggest advantage came from its suspension. Where the Cherokee shook, the Explorer glided. The secret was Ford's twin traction beam suspension, a system that let each front wheel move independently. Ford prioritized comfort, resulting in less bounce, smoother rides, and fewer coffee spills. Where Jeep and Chevy made buyers choose between comfort or capability, Ford didn't. Every decision, the suspension, the doors, even the buttons, came down to one idea: no compromise. And families ate it up. In 1 year, Ford sold 140,000 Explorers. By '93, this number leapt to over 300,000 a year. There was no denying the Cherokee and Blazer were left in the dust. They may have come first, but Ford wasn't entering the same race. They had changed the course entirely. The Explorer was a reinvention, delivering exactly what families had been waiting for before they even knew they were waiting. And the impact? Permanent. Today, over half of all new vehicles sold in America are SUVs or crossovers, a shift that began the day the Explorer rolled onto dealership lots. Ford didn't just build a bestseller, they built a blueprint for the future.